What's up, guys? We're at Metroflex Gym today, and today we're going to be going over blood flow restriction training. Stay tuned. So a lot of people have been asking me if blood flow restriction training is beneficial. What is it? How can it help me? So blood flow restriction training, aka occlusion training, is what some people call it. Is where you wrap your limbs, your arms, your legs, you wrap it, and then you can upgrade to the pressurized system, or there's straps where it's not pressurized, you just latch it tight. And what you're doing is allowing your body not to have venous return, meaning you're pumping blood to the muscle, but you're not allowing it to really come back out. And so what that does is cause a lot of cellular, like muscle swelling, a lot of blood flow to the muscle, and just driving a lot of nutrients. And so people ask, well, why are they doing this? How can it benefit me? So I believe they really use this for people who have injuries. So if you had something to do with your knees, your elbows, maybe you're not able to do certain movements because of having a higher load, meaning a higher weight that you're using for, bench, rows, or you're using biceps, triceps, you can't do a lot of load. And so what they did was incorporate this to help with muscle atrophy. Also, it has some hypertrophic effects that you can utilize at a very light load, because you're doing a totally different way of causing the hypertrophy rather than progressive overload or like having a huge amount of weight to try and break down the muscle. So anyways, we're going to be going over this today. I'm going to be showing you guys what I think, what I've read, filling up the pressurized system, and just kind of going through what it looks like. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so what we're going to do is, in the instructions, it says to wrap this around your limb, just tight enough to be around it, nothing too tight, nothing too loose. So what we're going to do is go ahead and wrap this around our arm. Okay, so once we got this wrapped around our arm, you'll notice that there is a pressurized valve right here. If you notice, there's a valve that's going to be a one-way valve pushing pressure into it. So it's going to, there's a tube in here. It's going to hold the air, and it's going to hold the pressure. So what we're going to do is hook this gauge up to it. Okay, and then once we got the gauge hooked up to it, so a lot of people are asking, what number, if you guys can see this, what number am I going to pressurize to? And it's going to be, I believe we're going to start at about 50 millimeters of mercury. And so you want to make sure, obviously, the valve is closed, and what you're going to do is just pump it up. And so we're just going to go to about 60 first. I know 50 was like the average for like something for beginning. I want to go a little bit tighter because I feel like that's going to be enough. You can already see like my veins starting to show a little bit. So it's like what it's doing, like I said, is not allowing the venous return. So it's just going to be shuttling blood into the muscle. So now we have that. The one-way valve is closed. So now we can just release this, and the pressure will stay there. And so we're going to hook up the other one, and then we're going to start doing some curls. Alright, so we're all hooked up. We're gonna see how these work. You already see the veins start popping. We're gonna start doing some curls. There's gonna be dumbbell, regular, preacher kind of curls, and see what's gonna happen. Alright, so we're gonna do some curls, and remember with this blood flow restriction training, we're trying to lighten the load and drive more blood. So we're not gonna be doing like, I'm not going to be doing 25s or 30s or 40s or whatever I usually do. For curls, I actually only grab 10-pound weights, and we're really going to just start stressing the muscle by driving a lot of blood into it. So we're going to do 20 reps, and we're going to have a low rest break. And we're only going to do rest for like 30 seconds, and we're going to hit it again. This is more going to be about just constantly stretching the muscle out, the fascia, and driving the blood flow. So instead of just taking a lot of rest time for maybe doing heavier sets, we're going to do a lot more of shorter rest breaks. Just really pump it. I've seen different pyramid kind of style training when doing this, of a heavier load, doing like sets of 12, and then a lighter load at a set of 15, and then going down in weight, but up in reps. I've seen that done. What I'm gonna do today is these 10 pounds, just to show you guys. I'm gonna be doing the straight sets of 20, and I might work my way up, but also you can adjust the pressure in it, because I've seen the beginning range is around 50 to 60 millimeters of mercury. You can work your way all the way up. I've seen people pretty dang high at 100, 120, going all the way up to like 140. So you just want to make sure though that you're not cutting off circulation in your arm. So then it just cuts everything off. That's not what you want. We want a little bit of blood flow, obviously, or the veins or the arteries to shuttle blood to the muscle, but we don't want it to come out. So what's super important is to have the right pressure and not too much where it just totally turns into a tourniquet and just cuts off all the blood flow into your arm. Let's hit another set. So you guys will start noticing that this light load, it turns to actually be pretty hard. There's going to be a lot of burning sensation, and the weight gets actually pretty heavy at a very light load. So that's what I said, start with a light weight, and then have every variation of your curl, preacher, hammer, drag curl, everything. Just make sure that the band is up around your upper arm, not down here obviously, but around here, so it's cutting off in the proper places. Same way in this one, or if you're using your legs, make sure it's on the upper part of your upper thigh. So yeah, so we're gonna do some more of these. We'll go to hammer curls next, and then triceps and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm gonna be doing today. All right, so next we're gonna do some tricep cable extensions. Reps of 20, same thing, 30-second rest breaks in between. Did you guys notice I'm like holding at the end and squeezing as hard as I can at the very end, just driving more blood as much as I can? It gets uncomfortable after a while actually of how much blood is in your muscle. You just get super pumped up, and then you'll get to the point where afterward you just can't even bend your arms. I'm getting there already, and it's just the beginning. All right, so another set. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm barely doing any weight. I'm like on one of the top tiers. One of the top tiers for weights, and it burns. It literally burns like a mofo. So like I said, keep the rest break. So like I said, keep the rest break low. 30 seconds. And another set. Yeah. You wanna know what the best intracarb is? Good old grape juice. I utilize grape juice during my workouts. You can use carb powders. I like to use just grape juice cheap. If you're like a bodybuilder on the budget. Mix your grape juice with some BCAAs. Get some glucose in your bloodstream, BCAAs, amino acids in your bloodstream. We got one more set. Form's getting sloppy. That was the last set. You start to cramp. I'm like, when I'm starting to cramp, just make sure, like I said, don't have it too pressurized. Oh, you start having problems. make sure that, because you're gonna have your arm gonna start swelling more and more. That's why you gotta start that 50, 60 millimeters per mercury. Millimeters of mercury, excuse me. Because you can see, like, maybe you guys can see, like, my forearms and stuff, like all veiny. Triceps are hurt. The lines are probably gonna start going away because of how pumped they are. So now we're gonna go to dumbbell hammer curls. So before we did the preacher, I'm gonna do hammers. Okay, so we're back with the dumbbell hammer curls. With this, what I'm gonna do is just try and we're gonna raise the dumbbell up, and we're not gonna bend it back or forward, and we're not gonna bring our elbows way forward and try to swing it up. We're just gonna have our shoulders locked back, and we're just gonna curl up and do 20 reps. 2, 3, 4, dumbbell hammer curl is a little different. Instead of being supinated, we're more of a neutral grip. Working the thickness of the bicep. I need to work more of drag curls and peak kind of developing, because I have thicker biceps, but the peak for roundingness is when you can really get the preacher with getting your pinky and supinated up in and squeezing back. Ow. And then also doing like drag curls, which goes up your body and you bring your elbows back. That helps a little more of your peak. Those are some tips for you guys. Hit on the set. Switch sides. Okay. So like I said, light load. I'm really using this because I've never used these before, and it's just driving so much blood. And so say I'm 12 weeks out from competition and stuff, and say I switch my training style to more of a higher rep range, and just changing things up right now. But I feel like having blood flow drive to the muscle with this, you can use it. Say if you're training like twice a week, the first day of the week you're training more heavier loads, you're trying to stimulate central nervous system, and then also just breaking down your muscle tissue with using a heavier load. And then this can come into play. It's still causing some damage in a different way to cause hypertrophy, but I like the part of driving blood to your muscles. That's what all the nutrients. So it might be helping with the recovery process. Because you're just driving all that blood. So I like that part. That might be just theory, but I believe if I just put logic together, what I know. Obviously we want blood flow to where the regions are to help repair the muscle. So that's why I'm using this, is because I want to see if there's any added benefit with maybe recovery, but also with stretching the fascia, which is like a layer around the muscle that kind of shapes it. And so if we're stretching that, then you might have the same amount of muscle mass, but the appearance, the perspective, the perception of the muscle might look bigger, rounder, fuller. So let's hit another set. You notice that my wrists are straight. They're not bent back, not bent forward. They're straight neutral. So yeah, like I said before, when I first started the video, they're using this for more of like injury patients, trying to not have as much atrophy in the muscle and stuff like that, which just means that you're like, say I got my ACL torn a couple of 3 years ago, and when I was down, I had to do a lot of more of electrical stimulating stuff to just try and keep the muscle activated, because what happens if you're not using a muscle, it just starts to atrophy or shrink. And so with this, I wish I had this back then and used it, because I can't really do leg extensions anymore because my knee. I can do squats just fine, all that stuff, it's all good now. But if I was able to have like something like this, I could have been able to just like straighten my leg and do very subtle exercises, drive blood flow, and maybe it would have kept my legs from getting atrophied, or just like my left quad was significantly smaller than my right quad after surgery and after like 6 months. So I had to like start all the way over. So luckily I feel like now we're balanced out. Let's hit another set. Okay. be able to even curl my arm out. Okay, so next exercise we're gonna go do, we did dumbbell preacher, we did tricep extensions, hammer, dumbbell, and now let's do some sort of extension overhead. Let's do more of a stretching movement. We'll probably get on the machine. We'll go overhead tricep extension so we can stretch on the way down. Alright guys, so this is the last one we're gonna do, and with this exercise it's gonna be a tricep extension over the head. With this, instead of going straight up and down, I actually like to bring the butt out a little bit and straighten my body, and actually just bring the extension bar not behind my head way back here, but just to the above my head, just a little better on my elbows and stuff like that. So we're gonna reach back, push out, lift up our chest a little bit, and so I'm gonna lean my head up, and then I'm just gonna keep my wrist bent forward. My lats down, or my traps back.
Peloton is now everywhere. Introducing Peloton Digital. Live studio classes like you've never taken before.
That's a little lighter weight. Put a bit more flow, still got blood flow. Burns. So yeah, with the elbow placement, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about elbows out or elbows in, all that kind of stuff. I just kind of do what feels best for me, meaning different movements. If you're going out, if you're going behind the head and going elbow out, that's fine. If you're doing more of going forward, that's totally fine. In my opinion, obviously your shoulder mobility and shoulder flexibility, all that kind of stuff, range of motion is going to allow you to go back a certain way, rotate a certain way, and then, but the tricep is just an elbow extensor. So like you just extending your at the elbow is going to activate your tricep, and so fully lengthened position is what we're trying to work on, is on the stretch on the way down. It's behind, I can't even bend my arm right now, but it's behind your head, way back here with the elbow way up. That's fully extended, or fully stretched, excuse me, and then fully contracted. It's going to be back here, shoulder back, tricep back, and so that was more of the push down with the cable. So let's hit another set. More weight. We're gonna go full rack. So, hopefully this is helpful to you guys. We're gonna do a couple more reps, finish out. Pretty much the same thing. Just make sure things, if you're gonna use these, it's awesome. There's some cost-efficient ones that just have the straps. These are a little more expensive because they have the pressurized stuff. I'm gonna do another video in the future of really dialing in the pressure, because there's different types of pressure. You can actually listen to your pulse and stuff like that, and like really understand the perfect position of percentages, because each limb has a different size, right? Different circumference and stuff like that. So really dial it in. You can dial it in to each individual limb to get the most out of it. But for right now, I think the starting place, 50 to 60 millimeters of mercury, is a perfect starting place. Will be for you as well. Just remember not to cut everything off. But hopefully that was helpful, guys. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. Comment down any questions that you have for me. Subscribe to the channel. I got tons of content out, podcasts, everything that help you guys with your fitness goals for free. Other than that, talk to you next time. We out.